Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, this video, this live, we're going to talk about Jack O'Sullivan. Here's Jack, a young man only in his early 20s. We've covered this case on and off ever since the unfortunate event happened, which basically was March last year. Jack was at a party in Bristol in the UK. We'll have a look in a moment at the area again. And he left the party, decided to go home. I think he was a little, reading between the lines, he'd probably had quite a lot to drink, which, of course, young people do at parties. There's talk, but I don't know if it's been officially confirmed that there was a bit of an altercation at the party. It's possible that Jack may have fallen down the stairs, banged his head. I still think, there's a lot of anomalies in this case that we don't know exactly what happened that night. A lot of gaps in the information because it's an ongoing investigation, I suppose. Anyway, Jack decided to go and try and get a taxi. For some reason, he didn't ring a taxi from the party itself. Apparently, he tried to flag down a taxi. It didn't see him, so off he went. And there are CCTV sightings of him, at various stages, until poof, in a puff of smoke, abracadabra, however you say that. God, I've forgotten how to say it. Jack just disappeared. But of course, we know that people don't disappear. Jack is somewhere. Where is he? Now, the police's theory is that he went into the river. They've made that pretty much clear, I think, because I think they feel that that's what happens to most young people who are walking close by water and then disappear. But Jack has not been found. No trace of him has been found. His belongings have not been found. Nothing, nada, zilch. And there have been extensive searches, especially in the beginning. So, of course, as time goes on, I won't say Jack's case is a cold case, but other cases come up, don't they? The police have to deal with other things. And it has become, up to the family, as it always seems to end up, to try and put pressure on the police as much as they can, and that is really what Jack's family have been doing, and particularly his mum, Catherine, who's been on various news programs, YouTube channels, etc. Now, so here is Jack's family. And I think Catherine has been the main spokesperson for the family. That is Jack, of course, they're graduating. It looks like all the family were there for that. There is his brother at the back there, over on the left. And that's his brother Ben and his dad, Alan. And it's funny, I was looking at that picture and I was thinking, it's like Ben, he's like the spit of his dad, isn't he? He's just like a taller version of his dad. They're so alike. In fact, I first looked at that picture, I had to look twice to think which one was Ben and which one was which. And then, whereas I do think Jack looks a bit more like Catherine, doesn't he? He looks more like his mum. They seem to have had a very special bond. And they all live together, I think, in the same house. Well, I don't know actually about Ben. He might be living separately. But Jack was there living in the house with his mum and dad. And, his mum messaged him in the morning when he hadn't come home. And that's when she started to worry, because Jack was not a boy. He was not a young man who was not reliable. He said he'd be home at a certain time. He'd be home at a certain time. She had texted him sometime during the morning to ask if he wanted a lift, and he said no, he was fine. He was going to get a taxi. He was fine. So and that was it. Disappeared completely. And this poor family, ever since then, they don't know anymore. The only things they've found out, they have been out and about and You know, she's had to trace CCTV footage herself. She's had to do a lot of investigations herself. And as I say, she seems to be the main spokesperson for this family. I feel for Catherine so much because I feel she's this very strong woman who's holding everything together. But, you know, who's holding her together? I suspect they're also supporting each other. But I think probably most of it, you know, that's just the feeling that I get. Catherine is doing the most of it. She's certainly doing most of the public speaking about it. And that is hard in itself, isn't it? And she's always displayed herself with such dignity and such, you know, she must really be at the end of her tether, but it never comes out in her interviews. She manages somehow to hold herself together. You know, I'm getting emotional. So I mean, I get emotional. I'm just talking about somebody else's family. So God knows what I'd be like if it was mine. Anyway, the reason I'm doing this video, though, to be honest, as you know, I do like to, if you're a regular viewer of mine, you know that every couple of weeks I like to just do a little feature on Jack, just to remind people that he's still missing, just to spread the awareness. You know, I get more subscribers all the time, maybe new subscribers that didn't even know anything about this case before, or may even have some information that they didn't even know they had because they live in the area, etc. So let's just have a look at the area. So the party that Jack went to was in Hot Wells in Bristol. That's where we'll have a look at. Let's share. Just make sure I'm sharing, because you know sometimes I forget to share. So yeah, here we are. This is Bristol, which for anybody who doesn't know is in the south of the UK. Not you know, if we London is over here somewhere. Yeah, there's not that far from London. Bristol. Now, where Jack went missing, the worrying thing is, you know, what does worry me is there is all this water around, you know, so much water. And, you know, the police always think that young people, if they go, especially young men who have had something to drink, go missing near water, they generally think they've gone into that water somehow. Here's Hot Wells here. Now, maybe they, you know, maybe that's true a lot of the time. But then where is he? Where is Jack? Why has he not been found? Because, I mean, we know that it can take a long time to find people that are in water. If he was there, we've just seen it with the girls in Aberdeen. It took 3 weeks to find them, but they were very close to where they apparently went into the water. So that makes you think about Jack. I mean, it's been nearly a year now. So I'm sure, you know, why was he not found? People are normally found, don't they? If they went into water, they're normally found within a couple of weeks. That's what I've noticed. It takes maybe 3 weeks to a month to be found. So why has Jack not been found? If, as the police believe, and I'm not saying he has gone into the water, nobody knows, but if, as the police believe he has gone into the water, why has he not been found? Not only he's not been found, but none of his possessions have been found. Nothing, no trace of him. And his phone was still working up to around 6 o'clock the following morning, and it seemed to put him back in that Hot Wells area. He left that area, went off to try and find a taxi, but he seemed to end up back in that area. Did he go back to that party? Was he picked up somewhere on the way? these are all the questions. Anyway, I'm going to say hello to everyone, and then we're going to go back onto the website, have a look at the Find Jack website. Hi, Laurie. Hi, Julie. I know. Hi, Angel. Oh, you're on a bus. Hi, Annie. Oh my God, Annie, you've got 100% attendance record just lately. So yeah, okay. So let's have a look at the website. So this is the Find Jack website. Now, the reason I'm doing this video, well, apart from just being one of the regular updates, is his family have taken, we're going to read the family statement, they've taken a very sad decision to pause the Facebook group. I just think that must have been a very, very difficult decision to make, because on their Facebook group to Find Jack, and they're only pausing it, they're not removing it. But, this family, as all families of victims, and we've seen it, the families of the babies in the Lucy Letby trial, the families of John George, the families of the Richard Allen, the Delphi murders, the two girls, their families, Libby and Abby, the horrible things they had to put up with. This is just terrible that people feel that they've made it, that they have a right to comment on. I'm not saying they don't have a right to comment. Of course they do. Everyone has a right to comment. When people go on social media, they're inviting comments, but not to be nasty, not to be horrible, not to make people feel worse. If you've got something bad, well, if you've got nothing good to say, don't say anything. But also, don't. How dare you? I just feel like you're building up all that karma for yourself, bad karma. Criticizing families like that. You might be the family of someone who's missing one day. I hope not. I definitely hope not. But if you are, just put yourself in their position for a moment. They're on social media because they are desperately looking for answers. In this case, it's a missing person. They're desperately looking for answers for what's happened for their loved one. And people are just some people. Now, the vast majority of people are nice. I know that from being on social media. The vast majority of people are nice, but it only takes one horrible person, to upset you. And, my situation's different. I'm just a YouTuber. I'm sort of putting myself out there. I literally don't care anymore. But, people, what I've learned is people will just say things sometimes. And you can't argue with stupid, so it's just better to ignore them. And the vast majority of people are nice, of course. But then I'm coming from a different angle, aren't I? I'm a YouTuber doing videos. I'm not someone who actually literally has lost a family member and doesn't know what's happened to them. How awful. What is wrong with people who have to pick on families or say anything about victims' families? I just don't get it. But anyway. So, yeah, this is the website. So that's the reason why I'm doing this. I'm going to read you the statement that the family have made on the Facebook page. I have reached out to Catherine and said to her, I'm so sorry that she's had to go through that. And if she ever wants me to say anything in particular, because I'm like a protection in a way, because I'm a step back. If there's something that normally maybe they would have put on the Facebook page, but now they can't because they've paused it because it's overwhelming them. And as I say, I will be reading out a statement. I can do it. I can put it out there. And if people feel like they have to say something sarcastic or come up with some horrible, I don't know, comment, then it can come through me, instead of going direct for the family. So, yeah, Jack Sullivan. So he was 22 when he went missing. Since he went missing, he has had a birthday. So he is now 23 years old. Oh, can you hear me? Hope you can hear me. Yes, exactly, Annie. It's all right to, everyone has an opinion, you know, and some opinions are based on facts. Sometimes facts differ, you know, what, you know, opinions, or anyway, never mind. But yeah, everyone has that, but you can always respectfully disagree with someone. You can always respectfully disagree with anyone about anything. You don't have to be nasty, and you can put forward theories that you think might be useful. You know, and of course, even that you have to think about. But sometimes the thing is, sometimes you say, I'm sure I do, you know, say things that think, oh well, maybe he has gone into the river, which really, I suppose, you know, I'm theorizing. Then that'd be hurtful, wouldn't it, to the family to hear that, that he's, because they want to believe that he is still alive. But they're not things that are deliberately being nasty. I'm talking about people who sometimes are deliberately nasty. But as I say, you can't argue with stupid. It's not even worth giving them the time of day, really. So he was 22 at the time of his disappearance. He's 5'10", slim build, brown short hair and blue eyes. And I've noticed every now and again they release a new photo of him. This photo that's up in the right hand corner, this was quite recently on Catherine's, on her own Facebook page. You know, just looking at Jack, you know, he's just you wish that he could give you the answer, don't you? He's like, how does it? His mum will be just. Christmas and New Year just must have been absolutely awful. Well, they did say, she did come out in a statement and say that. Now, he's been missing since the 2nd of March last year. So we're not that far, are we, from the anniversary, if that's the appropriate word. I hate using anniversary in something like this, because anniversary suggests it should be something cheerful, and of course it's not. But it will have been on the 2nd of March, a year. And of course, whenever it comes up to these sort of anniversaries, that'll be even harder. I can't believe it's been a year. I expect his mum can't believe it's been a year. And the fact that it's been a year sort of really brings home, where is he? You know, where can someone disappear to for a whole year? You know, and the hope is, the best case scenario is that he was taken off somewhere. It seems unlikely that someone like Jack will have voluntarily gone off somewhere and will have left his mum not knowing what's happened to him and his family, because he was close to his family. Having said that, of course, we've just seen that recently with the Aberdeen twins. They appeared close to their family, and it appears that, you know, they took a decision to unalive themselves. Now, I'm not suggesting that Jack unalived himself. It may be that he fell into the river. It is a possibility. And I was thinking about that as well, because there seems to have been this sort of uptick in young people falling into rivers or water, or is it because, and you know, this is literally something that I thought about, because I've noticed it with a lot of young people. They sort of Google everything now, don't they? So if they can't find their way somewhere, they'll Google it. You know, they'll Google the direction. Whereas, of course, years ago, we didn't have that. We couldn't do that. You know, if I was out drunk, lost somewhere, like I was once in Blackpool, I remember just aiming for the Eiffel Tower. Oh, that would have taken me a long time. Aiming for the Blackpool Tower, because I knew this place that I was staying in. I just literally left a party, just like Jack did that night. I just wanted to get away. I used to do that quite often when I was young. I used to get panic attacks. I would just want to leave, and if I couldn't get my friend to leave with me, which I couldn't on that night for whatever reason, and I knew I wasn't far from where I was staying, but I didn't know Blackpool. It was my friend's apartment. It wasn't mine. I was just there staying for the weekend. But I remembered it was near Blackpool Tower, so I literally and I was drunk, and I just aimed for Blackpool Tower. Now, Nowadays, I suppose I would have whipped out my phone, Googled if I could have remembered the address, or if I couldn't remember the address, I would have Googled, I don't know, Blackpool Tower, or get me a taxi, get me an Uber, something. And do maybe young people today not rely so much on their own resources, that they rely on their phone? And I've been in the car with a friend where the bloody sat-nav thing was trying to send us off the edge of a canal thing. And I was saying to her, look, we're on the edge of a canal, turn off the Google. It was telling her to turn right, and if she turned right, we would have gone into this canal. And she was insistent on following the Google. It was like, well, hang on a minute, just use your common sense. Do young people maybe these days not use their common sense? Have they even got any common sense? Because they rely on Google for everything, don't they? I've seen crime videos where people asked Siri to ring 911 or 911. No, people not even doing that for themselves, asking Alexis everything. I don't know, just feels to me maybe it's just a possibility, just something I was thinking about. Are young people these days maybe not so reliant on their own common sense, and can that lead them into difficulties one way or another? Anyway, as I say, that's just something I was thinking about. So yes, it will be very shortly, just in a couple of weeks. Hi ACW, hi Jean. It will be a whole year with nothing new, really, nothing new. It's just terrible. It's a torment for this family, isn't it? An absolute torment. Now, there's a reward. There has been a reward for information leading to finding Jack, £20,000. So let's just recap the circumstances. A lot of you will already know the circumstances, or maybe you've forgotten some of them, because of course we follow a lot of cases. But also for anybody new coming along to my channel who maybe doesn't know about Jack's disappearance. And if you live in the Bristol area, you will recognise the places that we're going to talk about, etc. So it's now over 100, it's well over 100 days now. So we're up to nearly 365 days since 23, as he was at the time. Or was he 22 at the time, wasn't he? Yeah, he was 22 when he disappeared. He's now 23. So it was March the 2nd, 2024, following a night out in Hot Wells, Bristol. Jack, having attempted to get a taxi home, was last seen on CCTV on the morning of March the 2nd at approximately 3:40 a.m, walking up the Bennett Way slip road, heading back towards Hot Wells. Now, on one of the videos that we did about it, we followed, Catherine, his mum, followed his tracks, the way he would have gone, but of course it was in the daytime, not in the nighttime, to show us how he would have. And some of the bits that he would have travelled down, they are a bit dark and a bit, there's also maybe a possibility that there were homeless people around, or, that he may have encountered, he might have been mugged. There's so many possibilities, because it also, Jack, at some point, he tried to call one of the people at the party, one of the friends of his party, who didn't manage to get the call. And to catch the call, and when they rang back, they said that Jack answered the phone and just said, hello, and then the phone cut off. So was Jack mugged? Because he had a very nice iPhone. Jack was very well dressed. He looked sort of prosperous, if you like. So he had designer trainers on. He had a nice watch on. He had a nice phone. So he could have been a target for thieves as well. So his phone was still active, and it placed him an address at 5:40 a.m. in the Granby Hill area. So it looked like the last time he was seen on CCTV, he was walking back towards Hotwells, and then his phone pinged at 5:40 a.m. in the Granby Hill area and continued to be live on the network till 6:44 a.m. See, it's strange, isn't it? Because if Jack had gone into the water, which of course is a possibility, would his phone still be live on the network till 6:44? So nothing has been seen or heard of him since the early hours of that morning, and despite the authorities' efforts, the investigation has hit a standstill, leaving his family desperate for answers. So here's what he was wearing. So you can see he was dressed nicely. A green or khaki Barber jacket, brown Ralph Lauren trainers. I mean, people would rob you just for your trainers these days. Navy blue chinos, a cream knit lamb's wool jumper. And these were the items that he had in his possession that have not been found. A black card holder, his driving license, a black phone in a red iPhone in a red silicone case, a Peugeot 108 key fob, a Monzo debit card, this nice watch, an Emporio Armani watch. I mean, people have been killed for less than that. His house key. None of this has been found. None of these items have been found. What, where are they? Are they all in the river and haven't been found? I mean, it seems unlikely that nothing has been found. But anyway, in a year, would they not wash up somewhere, something? They'll suppose, I don't know. Well, Julie, you're making me laugh when you say that. Your husband sets directions on Google or Waze and then argues with it or ignores it. Yeah, I had a partner a few years ago. We were heading off somewhere. He even set the Google, the directions from, I understand, like, once you get there and you're not sure of exactly where you're going. So say you're going to Madrid. Well, not you, because you know Madrid, but say I was going to Madrid. I know how to get to Madrid. I don't need the directions to get to Madrid, but once I get to Madrid, I might need the directions then to actually get to the place. And that actually, it's making me laugh, because when I did go to Madrid early last year, in May last year, we got off the train and we were wandering around, and we could see on the directions thing that the actual hotel we were staying at was not far away. We were going backwards and forwards. And in the end, I just said, let's get a taxi. We flagged down a taxi and we told him where we wanted to go. And he said, oh God, it's like just around the corner. And he literally, we said, never mind, just take us there. And he started off, he went round the corner and stopped, and he said, here it is. It was like 200 meters away from where we were, but the directions weren't coming up right on the thing. I don't think they do come up right, to be honest. And then, this other person, they set the directions to go, and I was saying to them, look, I know how to get to, I think it was Murcia, actually, we were going to, I can't remember where it was. I know how to get there. You don't need to put on the sat-nav for that. When we get there and we're looking for the hotel that we're staying at, then but he wouldn't have it. No, we're going this way. And of course, we ended up going all the long way round and also argued about it. And, it's just like, so, I don't know if they're always a good thing. I mean, are they always a good thing, these location devices and that? Why, remember maps? Or even when you used to have to print off the Google directions instead of it, you have that stupid woman on that voice going, take the next left, and then you think, no, I'm not going that way because I think it's that way. And then she's going, take the next left. She gets increasingly irritated with you. But and that's me and us. I suppose all of us have lived in a world where we didn't have this, but very young people, they've never known a world where they had to find directions themselves. You know how do no, I honestly, and sorry, no offense, and I know I have got some young viewers because of my YouTube audience. No offense, but do you have any, have you learned any common sense? Not your fault. It's just you don't need it, because everything you need to know, you just go on Google, don't you? So where's the maybe they haven't got so much street savvy, so much. I don't know. I've seen it a million times with young people that I know. Just the things they say, so, well, why don't you just do this? And they're like, or even if you do say to them, no, what was it the other day I said to my son? I was telling him something. It was something about history. It was something about the relationship between, I mean, these are the sort of arguments we have. It was the conversations we have, I should say. They normally turn into an argument. But we were talking about Britain's trading history with China, and how Britain made China trade with them. China has never wanted to trade with anyone. China's not a colonialist power. They've not got. That's right. That's what I'm saying to him. Look, China's not imperialist in the sense of, they might have been with their localities, with their local countries, but like they never go over to the other side of the world like Britain has done, and even Spain done with the conquistadores and that. They just stick in their zone. Next minute, a phone comes up and he's Googling it. Oh, yeah, you're right. Because he never takes anything that I say. He doesn't believe anything I say unless he checks it out with Google, because Google is God at the moment, which is a little bit scary, isn't it? Because then it's whatever Google says is right. And what if it isn't right? But anyway, never mind. That's a whole nother thing. So none of these items have yet been found. So here's his timeline. At 1 a.m, he messaged his parents with plans to get a taxi. So his mum offered to go and get him, but he said, no, he's fine. He said he's fine, he would get a taxi, no problem. Then at 3:17 was the last confirmed sighting of Jack on CCTV. Walking onto the grass area at the junction of Brunel Lock Way and Brunel Way. And then it was 3:24 a.m. he attempted to call a friend who was at the party. 3:25 was a likely sighting of Jack on the Plimsoll Bridge, heading towards Bristol city centre. Then at 3:30, so not that long after, about 6 minutes after Jack had attempted to call them, the friend called back, but the call was disconnected after Jack said hello. That's quite important, that, isn't it? Why was it disconnected? So he said hello, and then it was disconnected. Why? 3:39, Jack was seen walking along Bennett Way. 3:40, he was seen on CCTV walking up Bennett Way Slip Road, heading towards Hotwells. 5 a.m, bless him, Jack's parents noticed he wasn't home. 5:40, his phone placed him at an address in the Granby Hill area. And 6:44, his phone remained active. Again, so that's strange. If he'd gone into the river some way back, would his phone have remained active on the network till that time? So there you go. This is the quandary. This is the conundrum. Here on the website, there's this, the sighting, CCTV sightings of him and the way that they think he went. There is a lot of water around. I mean, that is worrying. Everywhere he's gone, there's water everywhere, isn't there? And he does look, just when you see him walking, to me, he looks like and he obviously has, he's been to a party, he's had a bit to drink, he banged his head apparently, maybe had a bit of concussion, I don't know, or maybe he was just drunk. I'm sure I've walked home like that a few times. When I was young, not now. And look, it's just the way he's walking, he looks maybe I'm reading too much into it, but yeah. Okay, so that is the website. And on here it tells you how you can help, who to contact, talks about the reward, frequently asked questions. So we'll go through this one day on an evening live. I know people like to see timelines and like to contribute, and they hope to help with suggestions. That's probably why the Facebook page has got so overwhelmed. A lot of it will be people trying to help, but quite often, because if they've only just come into the case, they're asking the same questions over and over again. It must be quite wearing, for the family who are running, family and friends that are running the Facebook page. So let's have a look at the statement that Catherine let's have a look at the statement that Catherine has made, his mum. So, due to Facebook becoming increasingly, let me just share this tab. Due to Facebook becoming increasingly difficult to manage, we've decided to pause all new incoming posts and suggestions. Now, I don't know, the thing is, Facebook is more difficult to manage now. Honest to God, I was just thinking that yesterday. I hate Facebook. If it wasn't for going on and following cases, I mean, I don't do anything much really with my own Facebook. Which I should use for my Vicky Marie chats and for Spanish classes. But I've just gone off it. It's just weird now. It's full of adverts. And I know they'd probably say they're trying to improve it, but it doesn't feel improved to me. So, I don't go really on Facebook that much. Maybe a bit more on X, but I don't like that either. So, try and stick just to YouTube and TikTok. I have started using more. So I've built up, a healthy following on TikTok. If I can help bring any attention to this case, that's exactly what I will do. So Catherine says, we can't stress enough how wonderful the majority of this group has been. And also it's been a tremendous support during this incredibly difficult time. Now, there is, however, a very small minority that are causing harm, and we've reached a tipping point. Well, I'll tell you what, if you're watching this and you're one of that small minority that are causing harm, I honestly haven't even got words for you. What is wrong with you? We would urge everyone to continue to raise awareness of our situation and keep spreading the word. Any new actual information regarding what has happened to Jack or where he is should be sent to our email address. So this poor family, they've had the same things that people do get. They've had people, saying they've got Jack and they want a ransom. They've had people saying, he's been murdered or he's been this or he's been that. You can imagine the kind of things that people say for some totally unexplained reason that I'll never fathom. So anyway, any new or actual information sent to our email address, findjack23@gmail.com, and this will continue to be monitored. I just realised I feel a bit bad now because I messaged her through Facebook, but anyway, she has answered. The pause on the group does not mean a pause on the work to find Jack. The GoFundMe donations, because they have a private investigator, have resulted in private work to be carried out, which is ongoing. Any significant updates will be posted on there. Oh, we'll have a look at the GoFundMe in a moment. We hope you can be understanding of our position, but also stress how appreciative we are of everyone's efforts. It's been an enormous help through the most difficult period we could possibly imagine. Well, you would never imagine this situation, especially with such a lack of help from authorities. So Catherine has been quite critical of the police. Lately we get all this, all the Guardia, people that have gone missing or something's happened to them in Spain and people complaining about it. But, Catherine feels exactly the same over there in the UK. I think it just is with sometimes, well, with missing persons cases particularly. You know, the police, thing is, the police are underfunded and overwhelmed as well, aren't they? So just as this was happening with Jack, something else would probably come up. There'd be other people who are missing, there'll be other families putting pressure on the police, etc. So you do have to keep making pressure, you know, because the police can only deal with what they can deal with. They are not perfect, you know, they're human beings. They try, I think they try their best, and sometimes they totally screw up, don't they? Just like anybody does. Because just because they're police does not mean that they're, you know, perfect people, or, you know, some sort of, you know, extraterrestrial being. They're just people like everybody else, and they do things right and they do things wrong. Anyway, she goes on to say, thank you for your continued support. It means more than words can do justice. We will never give up on Jack. Alan, Catherine and Ben. So let's have a look at the picture of it again. Sorry, the picture of the family and what I'm looking for. Now, this is a lovely photo, isn't it? Again, you know, gosh, I'm sure Catherine feels, if only she could step back in time. Look at, they all seem so happy. There's Jack graduating. His dad's proud of him. His brother's proud of him. Catherine's proud of him. Jack looks happy. And now Jack is missing from that family. But not only that, because, you know, again, as we say, you know, families do lose people. We've seen some awful things happen recently. You know, the little girls that were taken away from their families at Southport. Those are all horrible occurrences. But to not even know what's happened to your family member, not know at all what's happened to them, no idea. You know, literally, you just, you know, treading water in the dark, aren't you? Not knowing what's going to happen or what has happened. Just must be so awful. So my heart goes out to this family, and I'm glad they had happy times. But whatever happens, it doesn't take away whatever comes out of this. If Jack is no longer on this planet, hopefully he is, but if he is not, because something's happened to him, doesn't take away ever these happy memories. These are memories, these happened, they live with the family forever. But hopefully they won't only have these happy memories, they'll be able to make more happy memories as time goes on. But I think the most important thing is that this family need resolution. They need to know what has happened to Jack, even if it is the worst. It's got to be better than not knowing at all. You know, we know that from, if you were to imagine that with your own family, yeah, it's awful to get the worst possible news, but at least it's news. At least it's knowing where they are, not worrying, you know, where are they? Are they okay? Are they being tortured? Are they being fed? You know, are they happy? All those things, worrying without knowing. Awful. I mean, that is a beautiful photo, isn't it? Really is a beautiful photo. Let me take that away now. So that was the statement that I presume Catherine, well, it's come on Catherine's Facebook, posted to the Find Jack network, which has got thousands and thousands of followers. Thousands of followers, 92.3 thousand members of this Facebook group. So I suppose you could think that is how many people at least care about Jack and what happened to him and finding him. So, you know, that's nice, isn't it? But unfortunately, oh look, is that another? I've just been, oh, here's a post. Let's see what she had to say here. This was actually 29th of January. I've just been looking through Jack's website. It's full of information, makes everything so much clearer. From the camera shots, it is so quiet. No one following him on foot, no cars hovering near where he was walking or following. He is definitely on his own. Oh, this is somebody else making these comments. No cars hovering near where he was walking or following. He's definitely on his own and walking purposefully on the footage. None of his bank cards have been used or phone recharged or Apple Tag used. The whole situation just doesn't make sense. If someone found Jack's phone that night, please come forward. It could help his disappearance. Yeah, well, yeah, it's true. Somebody should come forward. But at the end of the day, you know, although that's a nice post, and I'm sure whoever this person is, looks like, oh, they've got a young son as well. I'm sure whoever that person is cares about Jack, but I do feel it's got to a point now where there's a lot of repetition. You know, you have to hope that the police is still investigating. Just hope so. But anyway. So posters are still being put. Oh, this was a lovely post that Catherine put on 9th of January. Where is Jack? People don't just disappear, so I'm not giving up on him. We continue to ask for any information, however small, that relates to what happened to Jack to be shared with us. And that's when she released this picture, which seems to be, you know, every now and again she releases a newer picture. Yeah, so yeah, a whole year, and, you know, no further on for this poor family. It's terrible, isn't it? Anyway, we'll carry on talking about it every now and again, and we definitely do, probably the next video I'll do will be on the anniversary of Bye Annie. Will be on the anniversary of Jack's disappearance. Does somebody know something somewhere? Or, you know, why was his phone cut off when he answered the phone to his friend? You know, was he mugged? Did something untoward happen to him? Why has he not been found yet? Because not only the police have been looking for him, but of course there's been organised search parties, etc. And now there's a private detective as well that they've employed. Oh, that's right. I was going to look at the GoFundMe. Because I do think, you know, you know, they want to pay the reward if anyone comes forward. Here we go. Let's have a look at this. Oh. You know, they need money to keep the flyers going, etc. Making the posters, paying the private detective. They've raised 55,000 now. £55,848. This is the only approved. Gosh, why should other people set up one? To me, it's only the family who should do that. So on here, they're saying what on the 19th of December, they made an update to say, following hundreds of incredibly generous donations, the funds raised far exceeded the original goal of £20,000 for a reward. For transparency, this is currently how the money donated so far has been allocated or spent. £20,000 reserved for the reward if required. 1,800 posters printing, 6,000 on forensic analysis, and 6,500 technical search costs so far not yet finished. Okay. So, so it says, with no leads coming to light to find Jack, his family have decided to employ a larger investigative organisation who have the manpower, experience and technical capabilities to assist in the search for answers. This inevitably will cost. The feeling now is that the money previously ring-fenced for the reward would be better used to fund this new attempt to move the search forward. Now, I agree with that, because you know what, if the reward after a year, if the reward is not a £20,000 reward has not, resulted in any relevant information, then I don't feel like it's going to happen now, to be honest. What do you think? Do you agree? Because if you offered £20,000 for a reward and then a year later no one's come forward, they're not going to come forward now, surely. Anyway, we understand that many donated when it was for a reward and to keep the original promise. As the money will no longer be used for that purpose, please get in touch if you would prefer to be refunded. If not, then your support in this new approach is hugely appreciated. That's good. And any money not spent by the time the search ends will be donated to charity. Thank you for your support and generosity. You've no idea the difference it makes. So I don't think a reward is going to help to find Jack, because I do think that would have happened by now, but I think he will be found one way or another. I don't know that it will be a positive result, but I do feel that one way or another this boy will be brought back to his mother. I hope so anyway. Because otherwise, just so difficult. And maybe that this thing about pausing the Facebook page, maybe because this 1 year thing is coming up, because these type of anniversaries and things are so significant to the way people feel, aren't they? Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I wanted to renew awareness about Jack, and to let you know that unfortunately the Facebook page will be paused, but also to let you know that I have been in touch with Catherine, and I've said to her anything she wants me to post, wants me to talk about, to please get in touch with me. And probably not, I won't now until after the year, after it's been a year, because I think this will be a very difficult time for Catherine and the family. But I will not let go of this case. Every couple of weeks, we will definitely have a review of it, just to remind people about Jack, just to keep Jack's name out there, and hope and pray that Jack one day, one way or another, will be brought home to his family. But anyway, thank you so much for caring about Jack. Thank you for watching as always. Thank you to all my subscribers, and if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It's free, and if you press notifications, you'll get updates on this case and all the other cases we're following. For my members, this morning I was making a special Valentine's Day video that I'm going to release on Valentine's Day, especially for my members. So it's always a special thank you for my members, because you do help support my channel. Thank you so much. And also people who send me a Ko-fi or super sticker or PayPal me, send me nice messages, send me emails. Thank you so much to everyone who supports my channel. Okay, so take care, look after you, because you are the most important person. I'll see you really soon in the next video as always. And until then, may your God go with you. Bye.